It took it a minute, didn't
It
it?
did. I got squinty eyes this morning.
I feel like a ventriloquist.
Ah,
Are you lying? Yeah.
yeah.
I used to want to be a ventriloquist. I had a Howdy Doody. Wasn't a doll. It was a puppet. What do
Huh.
you call them?
Yeah, puppet.
Is that what it's called?
I
I
would have.
did. It's Howdy Doody. It had a his head was hard plastic, but his body was fabric or like a doll. And he sat down in my lap and had a little string behind his head, and I heard it rain. And you pull the string and his mouth open.
Huh. Well, before we go any further with our ventriloquist, we better say the date, and that is May the 25th at 8:10 a.m. in Alabama. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just
I
knew
want
if
to
I
see
didn't.
if I can find it.
Howdy Doody doll?
It was vintage. All
The
right, that was the
puppet?
original. That wasn't mine. But
Yours had strings on it, though?
no.
Oh, I thought you said it had strings on it.
That's it. That's it. That was it right there. Oh, Lord, there we go.
Yeah. Jason, that's kind of creepy looking now. Isn't it?
It is creepy looking, isn't it?
It probably wasn't then, but it is now.
It wasn't then, but that was it. That was it. That was
I,
my Howdy Doody puppet.
I have never had any desire to be a ventriloquist.
That is it. That's crazy how I found it that fast, isn't it? It's for sale on eBay.
How much?
Let's see.
How much, and we're going to get your mama to find it?
$140.
We might better get her to find it. Reckon it's still in her attic?
There's no telling. That's it, though. I remember the shirt. I remember the red belt. Everything.
Oh, my goodness. How about that? And yours might be in better shape than that one,
it might be.
We got a little sprinkling on the rooftop. Hopefully it won't get too heavy because we won't be able to, y'all won't be able to hear us.
Yeah. Hope not.
Jason, I just thought of something.
What?
When I said the date.
Yeah.
And I know it's not ringing a bell with you because you don't know dates. Are y'all ready for this?
I'm trying to think.
On this date, 31 years ago, we met.
Really?
In Gulf Shores, Alabama.
On this day?
May the 25th.
Wow.
I went down there with my friend Kara for her birthday.
Right.
And it was the end of the school year. And you went because it was the end of your senior year. And we met 31 years ago.
At Orange Beach. Orange Beach, Gulf Shores.
Yep.
Wow.
It didn't occur to me because this is not the day we got married. This is the day we met.
We met. Yeah, we met.
31 years ago.
Golly.
So.
Wow.
I wouldn't have known it had I not said the date out loud.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has been a minute.
Yep.
And back then, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach was nothing.
I can remember like it was yesterday. Kara, myself, and my friend Kim were standing outside. Was it called Souvenir City?
Yeah.
With the big shell, right when you get into Gulf Shores. We were standing outside there fixing to get in the car, and you and Dwayne were pulling into town for the first time. And y'all had your windows down in the car, and we yelled at you.
Did we respond?
Well, that's where we met. You pulled in, and
I can't remember that part.
And that's y'all ended up. We went separate ways because you were staying at his condo, and I was staying with her parents at their house.
We had no idea who each other were.
No idea. Never met. Lived in the same town.
Yep.
Had seen each other, but not like.
Yeah.
Nothing past that.
Right. Ain't that crazy?
Yep.
31 years ago.
Yep. How about that?
Wow. How did you get the 31 years so fast? Did you do that math in your head that quick?
Well, it was 93.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. That was pretty quick. Yeah.
And I'm not a good mathematician, but I know it was 31 years ago.
Wow.
So June the 3rd, we'll be married 24 years. So we dated 7 years before we got married.
We did. Wow. I remember going to there and how boring I thought it was.
What?
The Gulf Shores.
Oh,
Because there was nothing there.
no.
There was no traffic.
No.
Nothing.
And y'all, let me tell you this. I just about drowned on that trip.
You did.
There weren't flags then like there are now. I mean, there may have been a flag, but...
Well, I told you, the flags have always been there as far as I remember. Now, I can't remember Gulf Shores, but my granddaddy that recently passed away, he had a place at Panama City many years ago. And but the flags are there. But to me, the flags have always been, they were blue. I think they're green now, but blue meant calm water. Maybe it's still blue, but they were always blue. You never, ever saw a red flag or even a yellow flag. It was always blue. And if there was a yellow flag out back then, it was like, woo, we're not getting the water.
Well, I mean, there was nothing to indicate that there would have been a problem, or else we wouldn't have been in the water.
Right.
And I just about drowned. I got in an undertow somehow and was in water, up to my knees?
Yeah,
probably?
Yeah, probably was up to your knees.
And y'all, it took my top off. Of course, I was able to get it up without anybody seeing. But, I mean, I was frantic about that. And then I was frantic about being pulled under. It was something I've never felt before.
Yeah, undertow's scary now.
I don't know. That was a feeling I've never felt before.
Yeah.
And not taken lightly from that point forward. I mean, it's serious because even at my knees, I couldn't do anything. Right. I just couldn't stand up. I couldn't get my footing.
Yep.
So take it seriously. Now that it's beach season, if they tell you it's double red flags, then obey the law. Woo. Obey the law. Because I didn't get back in.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't get back in. And you didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know you was, I had no idea.
We were kind of all split apart.
And you probably hid it.
Oh, I probably did. I was probably embarrassed. Besides the fact that my top had came down, I was out of breath and it was a mess. It was a mess.
Wow.
Yep.
31 years ago.
31 years ago. And that beach is not the same as it was then.
No. Completely different.
Went completely commercial.
It did. And that's crazy because we've always heard, at least I have, because like I said, Granddaddy had a place at Panama City. And Panama City, when I was a kid, was big. This is Panama City Beach.
Florida
was big, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
And so, but still was a lot, going on. They had the 2 amusement parks and they had so much stuff there. And I remember people saying, I remember Panama City Beach when there was no hotels and that kind of stuff. But we remember Gulf Shores when it was nothing.
That's right. There was nothing there.
Nothing. Yeah.
And boy, how it changed. The next time you and I went I was working at Walter Craig, which was a gun distributor. And I won a trip. I can't remember what I did to win that trip.
Yep.
But I won a trip, and gosh, we were probably
early
a year
20s.
from getting married at the time, and it was the first time we had gone anywhere by ourselves together, and went down to Gulf Shores. And at that time, let's see, I guess what year would that have been? 98, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe 5 years later, 5 or 6 years later.
99.
It had blown up.
It had blown up, but
still not to where it is now.
Then we hadn't been to Gulf Shore since.
No. So, well, we did.
Well, I'm saying since 99 we hadn't went. And then we went on a trip with a bunch of our friends. Mary Carl was
2.
She was 2?
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking, what year would this have been?
Well, 12 years ago.
So, yeah. So we went, hadn't been in forever.
It was probably 2012. She might have been 3.
So we hadn't been in 12 years pretty much.
Right.
and we were astonished at what it looked like then.
Well, the house that they had rented was in a place called Fort Morgan.
Yeah.
And basically, you come to a red light and you turn left to go to Gulf Shores or Orange Beach, and you turn right to go to Fort Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And Fort Morgan was always the, dead part of it.
Yeah.
But it had grown up everywhere in just that short time.
It's crazy. Crazy. And I'll tell you what happens. This is the trend that always happens with the beach, is that if everything expands and then a daggum hurricane comes through,
yeah,
and destroys everything. So all those people move inland, and then the property and stuff at the beach drops.
Yeah.
And then 5 years it explodes back up again. It's like a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. I tell you, I don't enjoy going somewhere that is that crowded.
Ooh, no.
I would rather go to a little place where there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Right.
And that hence the area of St. Andrews State Park.
Yep.
While the campground is always packed.
Yeah.
And that's near Panama City. It's just a slower pace, and
it's not.
Some people like that booming atmosphere and nonstop traffic and restaurants that take 2 hours to get into. I don't know how you like it, but it's kind of like not our thing.
Yeah.
We're slow paced.
Slow paced.
So
somebody said that they loved Petticoat Junction in the ghost town, and I did too. I loved it. Loved it.
We went to Gulf Shores. I'd never been to Panama City until I got to be a teenager.
Yeah, but by the time you went to Panama City,
it was booming.
Well, Petticoat Junction had closed.
Right.
And I'm not quite for sure why it closed. I'm guessing it was money. I guess that was it. But to me, it seemed as a child always popular, but I guess it was money.
I guess so.
And I liked Petticoat Junction better than Miracle Strip.
See, I don't know the difference in the two. So I went with a church group, and we went to Miracle Strip.
Yeah.
So that would have been probably 89, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And oh goodness, that place was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I'd been to Six Flags one time as a child, and I'd been to Disney World one time. But that Miracle Strip was just like amazing.
Yeah, Miracle Strip was nice. And the lines I don't remember the lines being.
No, we were there in the summertime, and it was, we just went from point A to point B.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And then of course Miracle Strip closed. And then a family, and they got that new Pier Park thing. Remember that family started trying to buy the old Miracle Strip rides.
Right. and made a little tiny area.
And then they didn't make it.
Nope.
So it must be a lot of money to keep a
well, the insurance is probably
insurance, because we know what insurance is. We've got quoted insurance for the farm, and we're like, oh my gracious!
I just can't imagine, the cost involved and something that really has a liability.
Right.
I mean, our stuff is what if?
Yeah.
But there's something's gonna happen on their end eventually.
Yeah. Insurance is crazy. And besides us not having a whole lot of time to do it,
right?
But that's the reason that we don't have any visitors come over.
Yeah, sure.
Insurance is too much. It's outrageous.
Yeah, and one little accident happened. Well, you think they're your friends. They're never, or them off in the distance. Even if you don't know them, you think nothing will ever happen, but you can't take that chance.
I can't.
Nugget likes to nibble, and just say Nugget nibbled a little too hard. Anything can happen. So
yeah, the insurance is crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Or Peaches might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Oh goodness, y'all.
Speaking of,
well,
you fixing to talk about the one you saw it yesterday?
Oh, no,
free.
I wasn't going to, but I can. I was going to say that I fed babies this morning, and y'all, it never fails. Uh, I can't feed babies and not come back nasty. They want to jump, they want to hug, they want to love, and I don't object. And it gets me dirty first thing in the morning.
Yep.
I had to take my mama to get her driver's license one day this week, and I got to the courthouse and parked, put the car in parked. What happened?
Oh, it says it's got an update.
And when I put the car in parked, I looked down, and y'all had little goat footprints all over my shorts I was wearing. Mama said, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "I'm not worried about it. What am I gonna do about it?" So,
oh yeah, they a mess.
it's part of life. But back to Peaches. So y'all know I'm a sucker for Marketplace, for Facebook Marketplace. I just peek on there to see what's available. Not necessarily, I mean, of course, if I'm looking for something specific, yeah, I go to Marketplace, but
I bet it's gone. Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
Really?
Yeah, because it's animals.
Well, I sent it to all my friends. Let's see if it might still be available here.
Yeah, it's taken down. Bet you. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, somebody had a situation.
I can do it like this, Jason.
Yeah, you can screenshot it where they were renting a house, and that their renter found out they had a potbelly pig and told them they couldn't have it anymore, and they were trying to find a home for it. And y'all, this thing, does it not look like Peaches? I mean, she's a little chunkier than Peaches.
Little chunkier. I cut off the writing there, but when I saw that picture, my first thought was somebody stole our page and is trying to give Peaches away.
Oh man,
that was my first thought. And then I clicked on it, and it says potbelly pig, free to good home, need gone ASAP. So it just caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a home for this pig. I reach out to Catherine. She said Tony would kill me. I sent it to Jacqueline. She never responded. And in the caption, it said, "If you don't have transportation, don't contact me."
Yeah.
Meaning there was no way she could deliver.
Right.
Petunia was her name. Petunia. She was 5 years old, and it didn't stay on there long. I don't know how they got it to be approved.
Because I don't know. There's they're
Marketplace, you never see animals.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah. So I thought somebody was trying to sell our pig, or not sell it because they didn't want any money for her. They just wanted to give her away. But it said that if she was not gone by the weekend, then they had to pay a hefty fine.
Yeah, I had to pay this fine. But the funny thing is you sent it to me. I was up here editing.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent it to me, and I thought you were saying that we need to get this pig. And so I immediately went downstairs.
Well, I kind of was.
I went downstairs and I said, "Look, I'm telling you right now, we're 0 for 3 when it comes to Peaches and having another pig around. I'm telling y'all, Peaches does not like other pigs. Period."
Jason said, "Here's Peaches. Girl, I'm twice your age.
Yep.
You ain't fixing to come in here messing with me."
Nope. I'm not sharing this stall. You're not getting in my bed I'm making. You need to go outside, sleep out there. You're not messing with me. But y'all, Peaches does not care for other pigs. Period.
And our luck is what would happen is we would gone and gotten Petunia and brought her back, and Loretta might have had the same attitude.
Yeah, I will say this. Loretta, and it may have been Peaches, but Peaches and Loretta are like oil and water.
Yeah, that's right. So, Loretta could be the same way with another pig.
It could, especially another female.
She gets along well with Gus.
Loves Gus.
And we just can't afford to mess that up.
Yeah, we want to mess that up. So I bet you somebody got Petunia.
I bet so too. I hope so. I hope so, because it was heavy on my heart. I was thinking about all the different places we could put Petunia and all the different confrontations that could happen with Petunia.
I mean, Loretta tried to kill Moody.
Well, yeah. And
that ain't no joke.
And Moody wasn't too happy with the fact
Moody was, I think Moody was just being curious. And then when Loretta tried to attack him, he was like, "Wait a minute now,
this ain't happening.
This crazy pig doing?"
So I after Jacqueline didn't respond from the post I sent her, I said, "Petunia, you're gonna get a good home girl. I'm just gonna have to wipe this from my conscience and know that things are gonna go well." But when I took my mama to get her driver's license, Mama eats watermelon every single day. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but she had to get a watermelon on the way home. So we stopped at a little fruit stand, and Mama tells me, this lady that works here, she's my friend. and so I sat in the car until it was time to get the watermelon. Then I was going to load it up for her. And I could see Mama and the lady at work there just chit-chatting. So it's time to get the watermelon. So I open my car door, and the lady is telling Mama about her little the grandson of the man that owns the stand, which is like her brother or something. And he had watermelon for the first time, and said that when he comes up to the fruit stand from after he had his first watermelon, that every time he comes, he wants to get the watermelon because he liked it so much.
Yeah.
So I proceed to tell her, "Oh, that's cute. I've got a pig that feels the same way about the watermelon because Mama eats a lot of watermelons. So that means Loretta gets a lot of rinds."
Yeah.
And I tell her, I said, my pig, I said, I put the rind out there yesterday because Mama had finished her watermelon. And she got so tickled at me telling her about Loretta because she picks up that half of watermelon and it never fails. She's gone with it. And Gus looks at her like, "You've lost your mind once again," because he just takes a bite out of his and watches her as she runs around with her prized possession. That lady got tickled talking about Loretta and her. I have to take her a picture of Loretta running with her. Our video would be even better.
Probably got several videos, especially on social media, but I could download them and send it to you so you can show it to her.
Well, she certainly got a kick out of talking about the watermelons.
Well, I'm hoping we have our own watermelons this year. I've grown watermelon one time, but I really couldn't grow it at our old farm because watermelons just
go everywhere.
They say that you need 8 foot per watermelon, and that's a circle because it could go all over the place. So that's something I didn't have at the other farm really, and I grew it one time, and I think we got 1 or 2 watermelons, and that was it, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's where you didn't plant many plants, did you?
I planted 4 or 5.
I think if we're successful with this watermelon and we get enough, then that may be something that does well on the stand next year.
Right.
And we could plant an entire plot.
Absolutely.
And, it's kind of like we put cards in our eggs that says, "Please bring the cartons back if you can." If you're in the area, drop your cartons back off when you buy more eggs. Well, we could do the same thing with the watermelon. We could tape a tag on it and say,
bring your rind back.
Bring your rind back. Return your rind for a 25% deposit.
Goodness.
Our pig will be happy.
That's funny.
And I say pig because Loretta, while they all like it, Loretta is the champ.
They all like watermelon, but Loretta goes crazy over watermelon.
Crazy isn't even the word. It's ridiculous.
Peaches loves watermelon too. Peaches loves watermelon.
If Peaches started running around like Loretta did, I'd call 911 because
Peaches don't run.
She's just different.
Peaches don't run at all.
Loretta is quite the character. So with a 25% deposit, bring your rind back and get another watermelon.
Oh, I saw several people asking about the farm stand this morning. Farm stands
rocking and rolling.
Way better than I ever anticipated. Way better.
It's been a good thing. It's I have excuse me. As a matter of fact, the other night I was putting goats up, and I fill their water bucket up every night before they go to sleep because I want to make sure they got enough water in their stall where they sleep. So the neighbor across the street sees me. He says, "How you doing?" And I said, "Fine. How you doing?" He said, "I've been cutting hay all day." He said, "Hey, I love y'all's eggs." And I've never seen him up at the stand, so he's never told me anything, about the eggs. He said, "I get them every Friday morning. I love them."
That is so great. We recently had somebody, we were up there. We were either cutting grass or something, and they pulled up and had a blue heeler in the back seat.
Right.
And they said that they've seen the signs, and I think, did they say some people have told them about that?
I don't know.
I forget what it was, but they said they've been wanting to come by here and get the eggs, and they finally came by here and wanted to know how many we had.
Yep.
And then I think we had 5 dozen, and they bought all 5 dozen.
Did. They did. It's something that the community enjoys, and we're happy to supply because I just happen to like chickens.
That's right. Even the honey does well.
The honey does well. The coffee does well.
The coffee still sells up there. And then once our vegetables get going, we'll put them in there.
That's
and
right.
I think this year is going to be better than last year because so many people know about it now.
Right. And they've probably been by to check, I wonder if they got any tomatoes yet. And I think that's the way the watermelon rind deposit will go, And Mama got a cantaloupe that day too. And I said, we've never given Loretta a cantaloupe rind, but Mama don't throw that rind away because I bet she'll enjoy it too.
That may even be even better because it's
the perfect little
one. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what she does when Mama eats the cantaloupe.
That's right. I'm hoping that this year maybe some of the flowers will sell better.
Yeah, probably so.
We'll see.
Probably so.
But yeah, the farm stand has been a blessing.
It has. It seems like every time I turn around, I'm needing to put something else out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's not a bad problem to have.
No, not at all. And y'all, I've even seen at 8:00 at night somebody come up to the farm.
Yeah,
stand.
I mean,
and not a little foot.
No, not a little foot. Not a little foot. I'll tell Jason the next morning, all the eggs are gone. And he'll say, well, the camera went off at such and such time. And I saw somebody up there getting eggs.
Yep.
So, yeah, very good thing.
Very good thing.
I wanted to say something about Capri in the video where I said that I smelled something on her breath.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to know, do any of you guys have that ability to smell that? Because ever since Mary Carl was born, it's something that I noticed on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell Jason, which you didn't notice it like I did. I don't know if it's just because I was the mama.
Yeah.
Or if you're just not able to smell it as well as I was. But Dr. D couldn't smell it.
Right.
So I'm thinking it is something that you either can or can't smell.
So
I think they said it's ketoacidosis.
I think so.
It's when it's it can be from numerous things, but one being infection. And Capri gives me kisses every morning. She stands up on the stall, and I lean in, and you could just smell it. And it seemed like it happened overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. D came, and I told him about that smell on her breath, and he said, I don't smell anything. He said, how long has it been since she had the babies?
Yep.
And it had been 2 weeks. And he said, I tell you what, he said, she could have a little metritis going on. So when he flushed her out, he confirmed that that's what it was. But my point was that some of you guys were commenting that I could have laid the placenta out. Excuse me. I've got to see if there was anything missing.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know if you could do that with goats or not, but people did it with horses. And if you had a midwife, and you were giving birth at home, then you could do it with a baby, a human baby. But I don't think I would have known.
I don't think we would have known either. And I don't know. Surely horses are probably the same way. I don't know. But as soon as the goat comes out, it comes out of the goat, she starts eating it.
Yeah, she does.
And you're supposed to let them eat it because it's supposed to be something.
While we saw it there, we saw it laying on the ground.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me to lay it out to see if all of it
Maybe we should ask Dr. D that.
I don't know, maybe so. But odd happening
Yeah.
that there was some left behind.
Yeah. And it was not very much.
Not very much at all, but
Yeah.
enough to cause an infection.
Right.
An infection that could have been fatal. I mean, when I started reading about it, I was more in shock than I was when he said that's what she had.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that just a little tiny piece of that left behind could cause that severe of an infection.
Right.
But he gave something to make her uterus open back up, because at 2 weeks past birth, she had started to close up. And he said what happened was all of it hadn't came out and it was closing up.
Right.
So when he gave her the medication to open her back up, that's when we noticed that it was just a tiny bit started coming back out. Oh my goodness. But her breath is not smelling like it was.
Good.
It's and her appetite's better. I just thought that she was eating a lot of hay, she was eating grass.
Right.
And I feed Capri when I take Fifi and the babies to the milk stand. I say babies because they come with me. But every time I came back prior to Dr. D coming, she would not have eaten all of her food. But I just didn't associate it. So thankful he came and he had the intelligence to know that that's probably what it was. Amazing to me.
Thankful for Dr. D.
Well,
he has no idea.
When he said he was going to flush her out, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be a big procedure. I said, do we need to get her outside? He was like, no, she'll be fine right here. She'll be fine. And I was like, well, do I need to put the babies up? Do I need to separate? No, they'll be all right.
He's so calm.
He's just the most laid back person.
He's so laid back and calm. Just like he doesn't get flustered with anything.
Well, it's a good thing he doesn't get flustered, because he got a whole lot going on.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy. So
he is. And to me, that shows you how much he loves animals, because he works a full-time job. He doesn't have an office in a building. He's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He works for the state of Alabama with animals. And this is like more of his passion than anything.
Yeah, I think so. It may be that when he retires from the state, he may do that for full time. I'm just speculating. He hasn't said anything.
Now, he's been to vet school. He's a doctor and all that. He's all that.
And he's very knowledgeable.
So knowledgeable.
More so in farm animals than, I won't say he doesn't know dogs and cats, but I'd say that he deals with more farm animals than anything.
I think that's more of his passion. He just absolutely but he gets off work and he's got a clientele.
Yeah.
And it's like every day, that's what he does. He gets in his truck and he starts making rounds.
And we ask him, do you ever have any downtime? Nope. Nope. But if that's what you love to do, it's not work.
Yep.
It's I
even remember when he came to check Moody because Moody was limping.
Right.
And he picked Moody's foot up. Y'all know Moody's a big old boy. And he never, ever got worried or anything. He picked Moody's foot up. Of course, Moody didn't want to, and he pulled that little piece of metal out.
Right. And
then he wanted to give Moody a shot. And, at the time, we didn't have a head shoot or anything like that. And so he said, well, let's just put this, we put a halter on him.
Yeah.
And then, or he put a halter on him. I didn't put a halter on him. And then he wrapped it around that pole and was, of course, Moody didn't like it. But Dr. D never, ever it was just cool as a cucumber.
Cool as a cucumber. And another thing is that I can reach out to him anytime during the day on his regular job, ask him a question. I'm going to get a response.
Yeah.
And he always says, if you don't get a response from me, do it again.
Yep.
Do it again because, my mind's going. I got too many things going at one time. I will respond.
Right.
So, he was spot on about Capri. He was spot on. It never occurred to me that she could have had something potentially deadly.
He's something else.
I just thought that, I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. He is. I'm so thankful for him. He is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I'm thinking back to Capri's breath and how similar it was to what I smelt on Mary Carl when she would have an infection. And there's still times now when she gets sick that I can smell it.
Right.
Not as much as when she was little.
Right.
That was a whole nother ball game. But thankful she's better.
So I saw somebody ask about purple martins.
Yes.
And we know we got 2.
We know we have 2.
We got 2. I also know that there's a pair of bluebirds that have been trying to use one of the houses, and the 2 purple martins do not like the bluebirds.
They do not. They have little spats, and we were told initially that bluebirds could try to nest in the purple martin houses, but there's really, there's not really anything we can do to stop it. We have bluebird houses around. They have opportunity to nest in other places, but they choose to nest where the purple martins nest. So for whatever reason, we just had a couple to show up.
Yep.
And they are using the house, and it may be, when they reproduce, their offspring will come back here.
I think so.
So in a few years, we may have a abundant population.
Yep. And it's hard to catch them on camera.
I thought you were physically trying to catch them.
I can't imagine. They're just it's just luck.
They're just so fast.
Oh my gosh, they're so fast. And
when we first noticed them, Jason suggested that I video it and show you guys.
Yeah.
And as I watched and saw them, I thought, there is no way that I can video this. There is no way. All you can see is just a buzz go by, and I don't know what kind of good content that could have made. And then the chances of catching them, they're out hunting and looking for bugs. So late afternoon, early morning is the best time to see them. But still, it didn't get caught on camera.
And I see them out and about, and I've only seen them in the bluebirds. I go to the greenhouse several times a day, and that morning I was over there watering the greenhouse, and I heard something, looked up, and they were just and them and the bluebirds were trying to land, and they'd come by, and they're not even going in the same house. It's 2 different houses,
right?
But the purple martins still don't want the bluebirds.
No,
up there
they
with
do not
at all.
That's their territory, and you need to go away.
Yeah.
Speaking of peaches earlier, I forgot to talk about this, but so I go feed baby goats first thing in the morning. I go in the milk room. Sometimes I open that door and I go collect Mildred's bucket from when she ate the night before.
Yep.
Come back in the milk room. Well, I went on about my business. I came back for something a little bit later, went in the milk room, and there stood Peaches in the milk room.
Yep.
The door's open. She's, a couple of steps into the milk room, and we keep our cat food in a container that's plastic with a lid that, nothing can get to it. Well, nothing except for Peaches.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bowl of cat food that stays in there, and there's the container that's sealed. No, Peaches didn't want the bowl of cat food. She wants the container that's sealed. She took that container and she knocked it over, and she opened the lid on the cat food, and she had her entire head in the contents of the cat food. Y'all can imagine what I thought when I saw her. Peaches! She hadn't been in it long and got her out of it. She was mad as a firecracker when I told her she had to go out, because I had to, put my hands on her and steer her towards the door. So now, every single time I open the milk room door from the outside, I have to lock it.
You have to lock it.
We all know Peaches, it can open doors.
She can open the doors.
She can open the doors.
The stall doors like it's nothing.
But the amazing part to me was, not only did she open the door, she knew that cat food was in there.
She's got
a sealed container.
She got a good sniffer too.
She got a good sniffer.
Yep.
So maybe from this point forward, when an animal is showing signs of not doing so well, Peaches could let us know.
Yeah. Maybe so.
Oh, y'all. I mean, but she went to a lot of work to get the lid off of it
Yep.
because that lid it's plastic and it's really sealed around it. You got to pull to get the thing off. So I can't imagine how long she must have worked on getting that lid off, and then I made her get out.
Yeah, I could see why she was mad.
She was mad.
She gets mad really easily.
She does, and holds a grudge too.
She will hold a grudge.
The next morning
My gracious,
after
y'all.
that happened, this is Mildred's stall that leads into the milk room. Peaches finished her breakfast, and when I went back to the barn, she was in Mildred's stall. She was rooting around, and she was trying to figure out how she could get herself back in that milk room. Yeah, I had the door locked. She can't open it with the door locked yet. Yet. But
Peaches does hold a grudge.
She does.
Yes,
she does. I mean,
she will get mad at you, and she'll be mad at you for at least a day.
So I had quite the mess to clean up from the container hitting the floor. The cat food kind of went everywhere, and
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was not a good start to a day. But luckily, I came on back to the barn and wasn't gone very long because I'm sure she would have consumed the entire contents.
Oh, she'd ate every bit of it. Then she would have been sick.
Well, that was one thing about Petunia. In the post that I saw that she was for rehoming, you could kind of see that she ate dog food.
She was definitely overweight.
In the background, you could see some kibble on the ground, and she ate dog food. So,
which is not good for pigs.
No, it's not good for pigs. They need a rationed out, especially potbellies. Now, coonies, not to say they'd need dog food, but they can do it's a little easier, I think, to keep their weight under control. But I mean,
I think so too.
Peaches would have ate the whole container.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're called potbelly pigs.
Yeah.
They're just made like that, and their belly, I don't care. I guess if you starved one, it wouldn't be like that, but their belly is going to be that high off the ground no matter what.
I don't think Petunia's was quite that high off the ground. I think it was probably dragging the ground.
Probably was,
but
Petunia was just as wide as she was this way. I mean,
she was
bless her heart,
she couldn't have got through the barn door, so Peaches wouldn't have had to worry about anything.
I hate to know you had to get her in the car.
Well, I told Catherine, she said Tony would kill me. And I said, Tony would really kill you if you went to load her up and he had to hear that screaming.
Oh, you got to take some earphones with
you have to take more earphones.
Ooh, boy, Peaches will let you know it. God.
She would let you know it.
Man, she is something else.
But
goodness gracious.
I'm so glad Peaches didn't eat that whole container of cat food.
Yeah,
it just let me be aware that I need to make sure I lock all the doors. I already have to lock the side door. Y'all saw Bandit come busting in on my video where I was feeding the baby goats. Bandit
can open the doors.
Bandit can open the doors too. So we have to keep the side door on the barn locked. He can't open the front doors. They're too heavy.
Yeah.
But if you leave that side door unlocked, Bandit will use his head just like Peaches does and open the door.
And he's the only dog that does that.
He's the only dog.
Foxy, Holly, and Rocky.
Don't do it.
And Dee Dee.
Well, Dee Dee's 4 pounds.
They can't. They don't do it.
They don't do it.
Just Bandit.
Bandit will open that door if you leave it unlocked.
And I wonder if they're all there and they all say Bandit's coming, he can get the door open. And so the Bandit comes trotting up there. He's always so happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And gets there, and I can just see the other dog just standing behind him. Here, he's going to get the door open for us.
Well, they went with me this morning to feed the babies.
Yeah.
Bandit, Foxy, and Rocky, and, of course, Dee Dee. And the side door was already locked.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you just stay right here. I'll be right back. And he wasn't happy, but... He's too big to come in there, y'all.
And not only that, y'all, he tries to find whatever he can and take it outside. It could be the cat's toys. It could be a tool. It could be anything he can find in there. And he's taking it outside, and it's a toy.
Mama told me the other day she thinks that the boys are past their tearing up time.
I will say this. They do their job at night. And so
you let them tear up what they want to?
No, they're really they're taking a break during the daytime.
Oh, sure.
Don't as soon as you let Holly out, they're dead asleep.
Yeah.
And so Holly does her thing or whatever, and they finally get cranked up and they'll play with her for a little bit. But for the most part, they're resting.
Oh, yeah. They got to.
They're resting
They're
because
tired.
they are working.
They are working, and they do quite the job.
Yeah.
I won't say Rocky does quite the job that Bandit does, but they do their job.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So Mama has decided that she's going to start seeds, and she had a project where she wanted to start some different gourd seeds. So she and Mary Carl started some gourd seeds. Well, then she decided that she wanted to plant some nasturtiums. Well, she asked us if she could use the beds in the back that are intended for the potager garden. And we said, yeah, sure. But we don't have a fence up back there. And the dogs tend to want to lay in the beds because it's soil and it gets cool.
Yep.
So she said, well, I'm not worried about that. I bought them and I really just need somewhere to plant them. So she went around to start to get them planted. And she realized that they were vines. I think she must have realized that. No. She got a rake and she went around the back because she was going to smooth out the soil before she planted the nasturtiums. Well, upon smoothing out the soil, she said, well, those kids, that's what she calls me and Jason, those kids have put a snake out here.
A fake snake.
A fake snake.
Which I used to do a lot.
To deter, I don't know why she thought that because there's nothing planted. But it started moving.
Yeah.
And it started moving faster. And she soon realized that fake snake wasn't too fake after all.
No.
She came and got Jason.
She came and got me. And she said, there's a snake out here. And my first initial thought was, copperhead or rattlesnake. I'm thinking something bad. And so I went and got the gun just in case I had to use it. And I'm going to tell y'all, the older I get, the harder and harder and harder. And it don't matter what it is for me to do something, like to kill something.
Yeah.
I mean, I struggle with it so bad now. So I walked around back and y'all, it was just a black snake, and pretty sure it was Black Racer is what it was. And he was halfway under the raised bed, and he was just sitting there. And so I decided to get the little snake catcher.
Well, I was taking a shower at the time, and you obviously had time to go out back to take your gun, realize it wasn't poisonous, and then go to the barn to get the snake catcher, right? He stayed there the whole time.
He just sat there. Okay. And never struck or anything. And so I got the catcher, and y'all, they're so strong. Even him being, probably about this big around, and I don't know.
He was pretty long.
He's about 3 or 4 foot long. And so half his body was under the thing, and he was holding. I don't know how they do it, but he was holding. And I finally got him out. And so I took him down to where the old barn is, and I put him out over there.
He poses no threat to anything. He's actually beneficial for eating mice and things such as that. But Mama thought we had put fake snake out there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to leave him there because I was scared the dogs may try to hurt him or something like that, and I didn't want him to get anything out like that. But he was just a small, typical black racer who their main diet is reptiles and insects, but they will eat mice and stuff like that, but they're mainly reptiles and insects, and so he may come back. I don't know.
Well, after she got her bed all leveled out and ready to plant, she realized that the nasturtiums were a vine, and that wasn't going to go very well being in a 4x8 raised bed. So she and Mary Carl planted the nasturtiums on the aviary.
That was him. I took a picture of him when I put him in the woods by the barn. He was pretty. He was very, 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 very pretty.
So now the nasturtiums can have a place to grow on, hence the aviary.
Yeah.
He was pretty long, Jason.
Maybe he was more longer than, I know 4 foot's pretty big. I think he may have been 4 foot.
But I never got to see him. Or I could have told her.
And that's my little snake catcher right there. That's what I used.
Well, Catherine at G&G, when I had the episode in the aviary last year where Snake was in the pigeon loft, she sent me a link to a snake catcher on Amazon and said, you need to get one of these because, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a snake in an area where you need to remove it every year.
Yeah.
And just so happened that we needed that pole again to remove him out of the.
We did need
it safely.
Yeah, did need it, and I'm thinking it's a black racer. I had my buddy Michael Keys said he thought it was a black indigo, which they're trying to bring that population back up.
I had just read an article about how black indigos eat copperheads.
Yes,
and help keep the venomous population down.
And it could have been a black king snake who also eat
venomous
snakes. Jacqueline posted a video that went viral, a little reel on Head Family Farms of that king snake eating the copperhead.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. She sure did. So if y'all want to see that, go over to Head Family Farm I know it's on Facebook. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but I know it's on Facebook of that king snake eating that copperhead.
Huh.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. But and y'all, I am scared of snakes. I'm not petrified of snakes, but I am scared of them. I'm more scared of rats than I am snakes, believe it or not. I just crazy. But yeah, I don't know. The older I get, the harder it is for me to
take one's life.
It is. It really is.
Well, I respect them. I'll tell you that. They're put in this world for a reason, and not to say I want one near me.
Yep.
I just I feel like they have a purpose.
Yep.
They have a purpose.
Somebody said that the Head Family Farm is on YouTube too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I don't want venomous ones near me.
I don't either. I don't want nothing to get hurt. Seriously hurt, like one of our dogs or one of us or something like that.
So somebody has sent a Facebook message the other day, and I don't know how because we don't get to respond to all of them, but this one caught my eye, and it wanted to know, had any of our animals ever been bit by a snake?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Back when we lived at the old farm, Bear was probably 5 years old, I would say. What do you think?
5 or under.
He loved the creek that we had on our property and spent a lot of time in the summer just down there laying in the creek.
Yeah.
Well, this particular day, we knew he had been in the creek and heard a yelp. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Heard a yelp. And Bear came out of the creek and came to us, and we noticed a little bloody spot on his face area, on his nose area. And it was no time before that little spot became a huge spot. I probably got a picture of him somewhere. But y'all, that dog's muzzle and nose swole up. I'm talking. And to the vet we went. I called and we hightailed it to Marion, which was our vet at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 5:00 when I got there. So luckily, Dr. Holbrook wasn't there, but it was Dr. Belcher.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some kind of laser machine. I don't think you went with me.
Didn't.
Mary Carl was young, and you stayed home with her.
Yep.
But they had some kind of laser machine, and they reduced the swelling by using that laser. And, of course, gave him medication immediately to help to try to keep his airway from closing up. But that poor dog, I mean, he recovered fine. But the swelling was unreal.
And they guessed it was a copperhead.
No, they guessed it was a water moccasin.
Water moccasin. Okay.
They said that it was more than likely a water moccasin.
Yeah.
And we were very lucky to have been there and seen it when it happened, because otherwise he might not have made it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of treatment that he underwent and a lot of medicine we had to give him for days on end to get that swelling back down. But y'all, it was unreal how big his face got.
Think of a copperhead, which is bad, but I think the venom is not as bad as a water moccasin, and then a rattlesnake is bad.
And there is a vaccination for dogs.
For rattlesnake bite.
For rattlesnakes. Yeah. None of our dogs have it. Of course, they really don't go in the woods unless there's something they're after, which is not very often. They just bark and patrol the area. But Dr. D's never said anything to us about giving the vaccination.
No, I guess we could ask him.
Yeah, we could ask him, but you just don't hear of dogs getting bit by snakes very often. I know it happens. We don't. I know it happens.
Yeah.
And then we had one that got bit firsthand. But as much as he was in that creek,
yeah,
it's a wonder it didn't happen more than once. He loved that creek. And I'm sure he just stuck his head down on top of one.
Yep.
But lived a long life after that. It was just a freak thing that happened.
Somebody says that they live in Tasmania and all the snakes there are venomous.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm glad I don't live in an area where I have to worry about one coming in my house at night. There are places in India and whatnot that those people are scared to close their eyes at night because a venomous snake could come in.
The brown snake, that was one of the most common ones. I wonder if the Tasmanian devil, why do I think it eats snakes?
I don't know.
Like a mongoose. I may be wrong on that.
I don't know. Well, you know what we could do?
What?
We could get us a flock of guineas.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness, y'all. I was in the feed store.
I hope Nick and Zoe ain't watching this. They're going to try to bring some over here.
I was in the feed store a couple of 3 weeks ago in Jones Feed and Seed, and they had some guineas. And they had 10 left over that somebody didn't pick up. They had, told them they wanted them, and then they never came and picked them up. And there's chestnut.
I know, I see them.
We love guineas. They don't live at their farm either.
That's true.
They don't live at their farm, so they may not love guineas.
That's right.
If y'all live there, you might have a problem with them roosting on your roof at night.
I'm not a guinea fan. I'm not. And it's not the sound. The sound doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
It's just they're bullies. And they'll roost in the most craziest places, like on top of your house.
That's right.
On your cars.
Yeah.
And
if I'm going to have them, I'm not going to have them cooped up.
No, be the purpose
That's
of having
defeating
them.
the purpose.
Yeah. You want the guineas to patrol your property.
They got to be free range.
Yeah.
They got to be free range.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness. I did not get any guineas. Jason was heavy on my heart that day, and I thought it would not go well with my.
They are the biggest bullies. That's
the one
thing.
Chickens. Even Chestnut Hill said that.
That's what surprised me with guineas, and it wasn't the hens. They really didn't mess with, but man, my poor roosters. Oh my gracious! We didn't even see a rooster anymore. They were all hidden somewhere. They were either in a corner or something like that. It was, we had a peacock one time that did that.
Oh yeah, we did.
We had a male peacock. This was our first round with peacocks at our old farm, and he didn't like chickens. Period.
Nope.
And he would pick one out. It didn't matter if it was a rooster or a hen, and he would run that chicken until he could get it cornered. And it didn't matter if it took 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Once he got it cornered and it couldn't go anywhere, he would just attack it.
Yep.
And he had to go. He had to go. He was not Scott.
I can't say that all guineas will react that way, but from our experience, which was twice, two different times,
we tried guineas.
We had that problem and don't particularly want it to happen again.
No.
They might pick Nugget to beat up on, and y'all know Nugget's a softy. He would just let them run over him.
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a new animal go in there.
Oh yes.
And Nugget.
Y'all, when this is crazy, but Nugget sat on his eggs for 44 days, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, those baby goslings that are not so babies anymore, they were born during that time that he was sitting. So he never saw them. He never saw them from baby goslings. He only saw them when they got up to about like this. He got off those eggs when we got the eggs up, and he thought that those goslings were something new that had just been put in there, and he was going to get them. He ran those goslings until Jason and I had a big talk with him and told him, "Look, buddy, they were born here. They've
We
been
had to
here."
shoo
Then
him off. There was something new, y'all. If anything new gets in that pasture and he sees it, he is going to.
it didn't
go.
last very long.
And you know what? So of course, y'all know we had the interview with the Emu Today, the big Emu magazine, and their main focus is emu farms, was mainly anything, but of course they realized Nugget was a pet and a puppy dog, and I told them that Nugget is an absolute great protector. He of especially smaller predators.
Yeah.
If a big predator or a numerous of medium-sized predators, he would have a hard time with, but raccoons or possums or anything like that, smaller.
Anything that comes in there that's new, even if it's a duck that's lived on our farm forever, that goes through that fence and is not a normal sighting for him, he thinks he's going to take care of it.
He does.
And he's never actually killed anything.
Yep.
We're always on top of it and, take care of it. But it could end bad.
It could end bad. Yeah, Nugget don't play games now. That's why he's the sheriff.
He saw those two babies and he did not know they had been in there because 44 days is a long time.
But we have not seen the deputy do that.
No.
Just the sheriff. She's just more,
She's out for
she's out
good
there,
looks.
She's out there strutting her stuff. She ain't worried about something new.
No. She's just there for the beauty.
So yesterday she did something a little different. So we've been working on the fence, you guys know. And we were loading up the fence. And of course, Nugget's doing his thing. And I looked over there and she wasn't strutting, but she was standing and she was just.
She's quite a character.
So she was posing so hard. And I don't know who is she. Is she still trying to get Nugget and I don't know. But I mean, she was just standing there. And y'all, I mean, it was just, look at me.
She's proud.
Look at this.
She's very proud.
Look at all of this right here. Look at this.
Somebody wanted to know, did Nugget's eggs hatch? No, they did not.
No, they were all rotten.
They were all rotten. Yep. And I don't think they're going to give up, but hopefully it won't be this year that they decide that it's time. We want them to take a break and
absolutely.
We'll start over again in another time. Well, an hour has passed. My.
Quick.
And the sun has started shining.
Yeah,
so
in
that time, the rain has left, and that's a good thing because we have work to do. I mean, we need a little rain, but we need it during nighttime hours.
Yeah. I know we do need some rain.
We do need some rain.
Yep.
We need it. Yeah, it's passed. Rain has passed. No chance anymore. So guess what that means is we go to work now. And I hope y'all have an enjoyable long weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Happy Memorial Day, you guys.
And hopefully all you guys that work a Monday through Friday job will be off on Monday, hopefully, and enjoy a long weekend. Plus, Memorial Day is like the official start of summer.
Is it really?
Well, I mean,
feels like it here, y'all. It was 95. Well, it felt like 95 yesterday. So it's been up there.
Yep. So is your coffee empty? I have one sip left.
Mine's almost empty. Almost empty.
So y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Yep. And you got to say it.
Y'all be good.